Welcome to the Take Control Podcast, Episode 9, Taking Control of Your Path. How's it going, everybody? Bilal here with the Take Control Podcast. I'm joined by Donnie and a special guest who I've known since I was like 10 or something. Before we get into that, it's been a while since we've uploaded. Again, this whole Lawrence being abroad thing is really screwing us up. We promise there will be more consistent uploads in the near future. Let's just do like updates kind of real quick, what we've done since the last episode. I don't know if I've said it on the podcast, but I've decided I'm going into pediatrics when I'm a big boy doctor. So this last month, I did something called like an acting internship where you carry the same patient load and do the same work as like a first year resident. So like we don't have video on for you guys right now, but like Matt and Donnie, you can see my eye bags. I was working like 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. But honestly, it was a great experience. Like I learned what I'm going to be doing in a year, hopefully, and I love the kids and all that. So that was my month. Been trying to stay as fit as possible while doing that. Donnie, what have you been up to the last month?
First, I want to say Bilal has been hitting the gym almost every day. He's been sending me the progress pictures still.
Yes, I have.
Of him shirtless.
Yes.
Thanks, Bilal.
Yes.
So news with me, obviously I had my tonsils removed, and then right after that, I got into a car accident, so my car's in the shop right now. So that was fun. And then I cut my hair pretty short, so kind of restarted before I go to this wedding in July. I actually took some classes as well for when I get out of the military. So I'm at that less than a year mark. So May of next year, me and Bilal will be going to Vegas, and hopefully Matt joins us.
Yes,
but I already got the okay for Vegas. So
all right. So take it now, Matt.
No, we got to introduce him. We kind of already said his name. We didn't think too clearly about that, but if you haven't heard, our guest is Matt.
What's going on?
AKA Estes Official, AKA Matthew Garcia Z on Twitch and YouTube. So a little bit about this guy. I've known Matt, I think, since like 5th grade, 6th grade, something like that.
Yeah, 5th grade. You were scared of me.
Yeah, I was. So he like transferred. He transferred to our elementary school, and it's like the first day. I don't like know him. I just like there's the new guy that transferred, and he's in like a white guinea tee, and like at the time he was taller than.
I don't remember that.
He was taller than everyone else. So I'm like, oh my god, we've got another bully in the house. So I was like, I just don't like him. I don't like him. Fast forward, he like lives like 2 blocks away from me, and then we would like carpool in middle school and stuff. So we go way back. So a little bit about Matt. He is currently working for. Am I allowed to say the name of the company or no?
Yeah, National Grid.
He works for National Grid or Con Edison or something. One of those. He was a military police. Is that was called MP? He was military police.
MP.
I listen. He goes by Estes Official on all music platforms, and then he dabbles in some gaming and computer things. And so a man of many trades. Matt, why don't you give us like a brief, like quick, who are you? What are you up to? Oh, okay.
Before Matt goes, I just want to let everyone know, when I first met Matt, I fucking despised him.
That is true.
I hated him. It wasn't until a day, I forget when. I think we were still in school at the time, where we got really drunk, and I don't know. I just went up to him and was like, "Bro, I fuck with you, bro."
I said something real, and he was like, "Yo, bro, I fuck with you, bro." After that, and I was like,
"Hey, Staten Island classic."
I didn't even know you didn't like me. So I mean,
I feel like I feel like that's how many friendships are formed in our hometown.
That is true.
Yo, Bo, I really mess with you, Bo. Anyway, Matt. Tell us a little bit about you. Who is Matt? Who is Estes? Who is Matthew Garcia Z?
All right, so Matt is me. Okay, I work for the gas company, and
it's gas, not electric. I'm sorry.
It's gas, not electric. 2 different things.
Whatever.
Anyway, I love computers. I build them. I like to program. I've worked with Unreal Engine. That's like a hobby. Those are all hobbies. Nothing professional. That's why I'm going back to school. For to chase the professional dream and become actually really, really fluent in C++ and all that, which I taught myself, but I enjoy that. And then music wise, Estes is my, I guess, alter ego. I like to make music. I know that name.
What was the name that you were gonna go with originally?
Oh god, Polo Foreign, which is nothing like me. That would have been a real. That would have been a real alter ego. Polo Foreign was the name.
What is it? What is an Estus? What is that?
Estus. An Estus is an Estus flask from Dark Souls, right? And then my good friend Lawrence, as you guys know, I give her that Estus. Now she's feeling herself. So and that was a fire bar, and then we were like, "Fuck it, Estus is the name."
So let's backtrack. Estus, you said, is from Dark Souls. So
yes,
you're also a video game nerd, like many of us.
Yes, I like to stream. I get no views. But I like to stream. Yet.
Okay. All right. So, computer lover, gas company employee, manager, or something like that. He oversees something. I still don't know what he actually does, but I know he oversees
other
something.
Contractors.
He sends me memes all day long, so it can't be much. Anyway, if you ever wondered why your gas, like, if it goes out, it takes forever, this is why. And then he loves, like, gaming and fixing computers. He actually, through FaceTime, instructed me how to put together a PC from scratch. It was like 11 p.m. My apartment was dark, and I was, like, FaceTiming and pointing to some random thing on, like, the motherboard. I'm like, why is this not working? And, like, he gave me instructions, and my PC's been good ever since.
Yeah. I'm that good, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm that good, All
right. Well, his fans break all the time, and then
not anymore. Not anymore.
It stops us from playing games. Anyway, whatever. So I think what we want to talk about this episode and why we chose Matt is we want to talk about like taking different paths in life, and for a lot of people, like you'll start on one path and then switch completely to something else, or you kind of find yourself like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, like all these different things at once, and then it's kind of like called like paralysis by analysis, where you're just like, what am I going to do with my life? I like this, but I also like this. I'm already in this, etc. So I feel like Matt's a good kind of different viewpoint from myself as well as Donnie. So Donnie, why don't we start with you? Tell us about like out of high school, what was your path? Did you know your path? Like, what did you want to do, and how did it lead you to where you are today?
So, right out of high school, I did go to college at first. I went for computer science, and
I had no idea it was computer science. I just found that out right now. Wow.
I had no idea.
For computer science, and in one of my classes, my computer science classes, my teacher at the time, he was like, "Oh yeah, everyone buy into Bitcoin. Put $500 into Bitcoin." This one, Bitcoin was at like $5. And stubborn me, I was like, "Bro, I'd rather go out on the weekends than spend money on this fucking Bitcoin." So instead, I went out and partied for 2 weeks straight, and then I could be a millionaire right now. But besides that, I left because I didn't want to go to school anymore. I hate the fact of homework. School's for fools is like, Bilal will tell you, one of my favorite lines to say whenever Bilal's having trouble in school.
That is Donnie's mantra. For years, like I'm talking like I might have been maybe a freshman in college where he was telling me, Bilal, school's for fools. I'm telling you. Till this day, he reminds me.
Now look at him, he's fucking hating his life most of the time. He's just to study and
bags under my eyes,
be tired and not get paid to work 36 hours straight.
That's ridiculous.
It's wild. But after that, I was looking into other branches, and then I found the Navy, and I joined the Navy, which now I kind of regret, but I mainly did it to get extra points on the firefighter exam back in New York. And now I might not even do that because I'm looking at all my options right now.
Let's hold off on like what we're gonna do in the future. We'll do that after. We'll talk about like what you were.
Oh, what's happening now?
Yeah, let's like table that for like the second half of the episode. Let's focus on like what you were thinking and what led you to where you are today.
Oh, so basically I was an idiot and I signed a paper that I had no idea about, and I didn't even get my college credits I went to school for, so I went in as a lower rank, and now I'm stuck at the rank I am until I get out because, honestly, I didn't care enough to take the test. But, yeah, here I am.
So,
just, chilling.
You said real quick you regret it. Why?
I feel like instead of... I did learn a lot. I learned a lot of experience. Like, I know how to live on my own and all that, and it's just... I feel I can't even say I actually regret it. I say I regret it because I can't wait to get out, and it helps me like turn the switch of like, hey, I need to get out. Let me say I regret it so I don't change my mind and try to stay in. Even if they give me an extra bonus of like $20,000, $30,000, I'm not going to take it. I'm just going to get out.
Okay. So let's break that down a little bit. Why do you regret it? Like what say you didn't go down that path. What were you going to do? Like what was your plan? Did you have a plan?
Yeah, I was going to finish school, but you know, I'm just trying to figure it out. So now I might you said want to say that for later,
we'll
but
table that, yeah.
Yes, it's just, you know.
So okay.
I'm very indecisive.
Okay. So let's say you took the other path, right? You had this Navy military path, and then your other path was finish school. Where do you think you would have been today?
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Yeah, but like, you knew that school wasn't it. Like that. This you for you at that point in time, you realized for you school was a dead end.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Matt, let's kind of talk about you. So talk to us. Like you finished high school. What was your like path? Like what were you gonna do? And then what did you transition to? And then hold off on like what your future plans are. We'll talk about that.
Okay. So I knew for a very long time I always wanted to do something with computers. Ever since I was a kid, like I sent you like modding Black Ops fucking 2 Zombies. I loved modding, hacking, glitches. I my motto was glitches and women. Those are my two.
Oh my god.
We respect women on this podcast. We respect women.
The only B word we use for women is beautiful.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what I said. Glitches are women. So I loved women. So you know what I mean. That's what I would. Yeah. So that's the only two things I'd ever talk about when I was like 15, 16. Because anyone would
until like last year.
Literally, Matt was like teenage years. Like your two things as like a teenage male, like stereotypical teenage male, girls or guys if that's what you're into. And video games, and that was it. Some people, you know, if you were more cool, literally. Sports were in there, but like, I wasn't one of them, so I can't.
I didn't watch sports. I still don't watch sports to this day.
Yeah, we know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So walk us through like.
So I know I always wanted to do something with that, but then as I ended school and you know like I saw my brother join the military, I kind of got influenced to join the military, and it was cool until I turned 21, and I turned 21, and I was having also like a full-time job. I despised going to my meets and all that stuff, and
explain more on that because like they might think you have to do. So he was reservist, and then he had a full-time job as well. So
so I had a full-time job with reserves, so I had to go there once a week, 1 week in a month to actually like do my drills and shit. And I was like, bro, like I'm working a full-time job, and I'm at this point like job? National Grid.
Oh, okay, you were still okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah. So working for National Grid, I've been there for 5 years, so. I would work my 5 days a week, and then I'll have to work the weekends, basically. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to do this anymore. So I'm 21. I want to go out. I'm just 21. I want to party. You know, I want to do all this stuff. And I have another commitment to make. And I knew that as I signed, but like, you know, they get you when you're a kid. Gotcha, bitch. You know what I mean? They got you. So like, you know what I mean? Now I'm tied in. So now I started to despise this thing, you know, that I signed up for. And honestly, in all reality, it's only really helped me get out of tickets. It's never really helped me in any other aspect. You know, I'm at the bar, you know, I'm drinking, you know, and I bring it outside for a second. I'm walking outside. A cop goes, oh, give me your ID. And I show my military ID. And he's like, oh, never mind. Just throw it out. That's all I've ever done. Or I run a stop sign and, you know, when I was younger and, you know, whatever.
I remember one time. Another disclaimer. We respect the military. And
there's nothing against it.
Yeah,
I'm just
so things don't get taken out of context. We're talking about like personal opinions of like being in it.
Oh yeah, so he basically saying how I feel. Like I just don't like being in it, but I still like it.
Because I guess when you deal with all the BS that it comes with in general, you eventually just become sick of it. I think anyone could really just say that, you know. So then I met great people. You know, I've shot tons of different weapons. You know, I love them. I've gotten experience with them. I know how to take them apart, put them together. Knowledge from other people like who are older than me.
Do you regret it?
You know, do I regret it? In terms of what I want to do now, and I know we're not talking about future, but like, I'm just
straight up, yes or no? Do you regret it?
Yeah, because it stopped me from progressing in certain ways.
Okay.
Yeah, but it also helped me mature faster, and also helped me become mentally stronger in terms of like, who, maybe I would have struggled back in the day with certain stuff, but now, I'm not.
They teach you how to work hard and they teach you discipline. I've noticed that from both of you. Like, before you go in, like you said, you go in kind of as like a teenager, like you're 18 or something. Like, a lot of people, they're still trying to figure out like getting their shit together, right? But like doing that, and I've seen every single person I know that's gone through at least boot camp, like discipline is ingrained into you, which I think is a good thing.
And we've had kids, like I've had kids literally straight up like quit. They lie to quit in basic training and stuff, and it's just like you look at them like in such disgust. You know what I mean? And then, when you get out, you're like, it's accomplishing. It's very relieving.
Okay.
Even walk down the streets, like I see other people too, like with like fucked up hair and just like beards that look raggedy. I'm like, bro, groom yourself at least. Like take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself.
So yeah, I definitely understand that as well.
So, Matt, I think you kind of glanced over a little portion in your like path. At some point, you were in college, right?
Yes, I did go to college.
Was that before or
credits.
After? Like, give me a timeline. Right after high school.
That's during.
So, because you said you were doing National Grid and military. Yeah. Where was school?
So what happened was I graduated high school. Mm-hmm. So went straight to the military. I was gone for 6 months. Remember that I came back for December break. I came back for like 2 weeks, and then I went back out. Then I graduated that, and then I went straight to Walgreens, got Donnie a job.
We worked there for a little bit.
Yeah, we worked there together. That was amazing. And then I was doing school during that time too, so I had more time.
So you did.
But I flunked.
So you did military training, which was like exclusive, and then you did like
business training,
like a side job like Walgreens while you were in school full time.
Yeah, with the military.
Okay. Which
wasn't that bad.
Okay, so talk about that. Talk about like what made you drop school to go to National Grid, etc. Like, what were you thinking?
Okay, so I wasn't making like much money at Walgreens because it's Walgreens.
Right. It was just like your like classic like first time.
Yeah. So then, I was working, and I was able to pick my days. So like basically, if I wasn't going in, I wasn't getting paid. But National Grid is a completely different job. National Grid is a full-time 5 days a week job at least. So you have to hit 5 days. It's not like if I could like, I can't come in, Thursday because I have a test. They don't care.
Right.
That is the last thing they care about.
Right.
So I could have like at Walgreens, I was able to have like morning classes, and say like, listen, I could only work,
So it was like part time,
from 11 to 7. Yeah. It was part time, so I was able to pick my hours. National Grid, it's like, no, you're coming at 6 and you're leaving at 2,
it's
regardless
like a career.
if you like it or not.
Yeah, that's like a full time. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and it's like it's so conflicting because the career that I'm currently working, I don't care about.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I really don't care. Versus a career in computer science and computers, I thoroughly care about that. And it's like, I don't care whether or not if my job's easy. Like, I just don't like it. You know what I mean? I could go to a place and sit there for 8 hours and be like, this is easy. Why am I doing it? I have no purpose in doing this.
We will touch on that in a second. Okay.
Yeah.
So, just like recap. What'd you go to school for? Computer science? Initially.
I still am, yeah.
Okay.
I have 55 credits in it.
Right. So
I'm right there, my associate.
So you went to school, did Walgreens at the same time, and then the National Grid opportunity came up. And that's when you said, I'm going to get out of school and do the National Grid and the military.
Yeah, and eventually I did do National Grid and school and military. Right. And I was just like, bro, I'm going to...
And then you decided you couldn't handle all three. Like, you're a human being, right? Like, full-time job, military. Computer science is not easy, right? It's like mentally taxing. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. So now, like, you're...
And then going out, being a beau.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Of course. How could
we went out a lot. I actually... Quick time out on, like, all the serious stuff. Matt, do you want to tell a story real quick about Brooklyn? When me and you went out and they thought me and you together?
Oh, so yeah, me and Donnie, basically, long story short, I got jumped in Brooklyn at one point. So
wait, what?
I don't know.
I think Donnie's referring to something else where, like,
no,
whenever...
All right, I'll tell the story.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
So,
brief.
There was a time where we went out. I forgot what we were doing out. Just went to Brooklyn, and me and Matt were on the dance floor, doing our thing, scouting out for women. And then I did the little lasso thing where I lassoed Matt over.
Oh.
And he like started dancing over to me. And then
Since then, everyone thought you were a couple.
yeah, and
Yeah,
when we started talking to these girls later that night, they're like, "Oh, we thought you guys were gay," and we're like, "No, why would you think
Thanks.
that?"
Because we were dancing together.
Thanks, but no thanks. You know? Donnie's my best friend, but you know.
Wait, I thought I was your best friend.
You're both my best friends.
All right. Whatever.
This is all right.
Anyway.
Let's just move on from this now.
Tabling back to like the real.
Yeah, I just wanted a little break for a second.
So their paths were like kind of similar but kind of different. Mine is completely different from both of them. So like, and Matt can attest to this. Like I've known Matt, like I said, since like middle school, early middle school.
Fourth grade. Like,
Fourth.
You've known of me 4th grade.
Yeah, exactly. Since like a little kid, like growing up. So my parents are immigrants, and it's like the stereotypical like immigrant family. You grow up to be either a doctor, a lawyer, or a failure. That's it. Those are your 3 options. So kind of growing up, that's like in the back of my head that like, oh, like your parents, like they moved here, they did all this so you can be like successful. And that's what
instilled a lot in you.
Yeah, that's what, and like I'm sure anyone listening who's like has like a similar backstory, it's the same thing, regardless of where they came from. What's up?
You want to tell them more about where they can hear about that story on which other podcasts?
I talked about this on one of our other episodes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't
The
remember.
American Dream.
Yes,
If you want to hear the full story
Exactly.
about that, tune into the American Dream.
Exactly.
And hear Bilal talk about it. It's
Exactly.
a great story.
Yeah, it's why I'm where I am today. So anyway, that's like in the back of my head, but like you don't decide what you want to do as like a kid, right? Like, but on one hand, I think it's in our middle school yearbook, our 8th grade middle school yearbook. There's like a little section where it's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And all the other kids in my class were like actress, baseball player, football player. For me, I put down doctor. Did I actually know I want to be a doctor at that time? No. It was just like, that was my definition of like success and like making it, right? But from 8th grade to high school, I had to take a test to go to this like special high school, whatever, for like quote unquote like smart people.
Nerds.
Yeah, and he learned Russian. Anyway.
Yeah. So like for me, once I took that path, it was kind of like, okay, like I'm going into one of these fields. I just don't know what, right? But I always knew like college had to be in the picture. Like I had to keep my grades up in middle school to get into a quote unquote good high school, to get into a quote unquote good college, to get into one of these fields. It was always school, right? Do I love school? No. I don't. I was good at school, obviously. So then, whatever, I get to college, a great school, and I just kind of like, I said, yeah, I'm gonna go into like health science, whatever. I talk more about this, so I won't get into detail. But I personally felt like I could be good at like anything. I was into business, but I was also doing this like science doctor thing and whatever. And because like personal things happened, it kind of pushed me towards the doctor thing. But now here where I am today, like I'm a year away, hopefully, from becoming a doctor. A little less than a year away. And what I tell people when they ask me is like, would you do it again? The answer is complicated. If I know what I know now and how the field is changing, I don't think it would be like a straight yes. Either I can do something else, like a different way of being in the health field, but I don't know if I would like go through this again. It's just a lot. Like they said, I'm not making money. I'm hemorrhaging money. Every single day that goes by, student loans, right? I'm seeing all my friends like think about buying houses and 401ks and engagements and whatnot. And I'm just like, I need to keep my head above water until I'm like functioning, right?
I have a question.
What's up? Go ahead.
You work, but you don't get paid. So how do you?
So you take out. It's like medical school is very expensive depending on where you go. So I go to school in a major city, which is very expensive. They give you student loans that cover housing, quote unquote personal expenses, etc. I don't like go out and stuff like so. Like a lot of my money I save. I have like side hustles that have me like personal spending money. I try not to have my student loans like cover my fun expenses, but that's how you sustain yourself in like a graduate school program. It's student loans. That's it. Yeah. So I think that my advice to people is that if you don't want one of these fields where school is a must, go learn a trade. Like go experience life, right? A lot of these things that like we go to college for aren't actually useful. and this is from someone who did everything by the book, right? I worked my butt off in college to get to this, med school, whatever. I feel like these guys, like my peers here, learned a lot of life experience that like a lot of people I know that did things like me didn't learn, right? You don't learn taxes. You don't learn all this stuff in college.
Hold on. Can I ask you a question? So you don't think, I feel like you're very knowledgeable about how to live on your own and all that. And you brought up the same thing, how you probably wouldn't do it, but you probably would. You don't know yet. And just how I said I would. But I feel like you're in the same position as well, where you actually learn more about it. And you just shit, it's there's so much, and it's not exactly what I thought. That you're probably is this really a good idea?
Right.
And hindsight's always 20/20.
Exactly. It's, again, my bottom line is I've found success in business and personal ventures and whatever. I know how to make money. I'm pretty creative. I work hard, but I found that nothing brings me the same joy as going to two parents of a really sick child, getting them better and being here's your kid. They're better. They can go on.
Better.
That to me was better than any amount of money I've ever made on a deal, any amount of quote unquote clout I got on my photography. It destroys all of that. That's why I'm still in it. Student loans aside, right? Now I'm pot committed, as they say in poker, right? But what I was saying, what to Donnie's point, I gained a lot of life experience, learning how to live on my own and whatever at college, right? I will give credit to that. If you go away to college, you learn how to function independently, which I think people need to do. But a lot of people we know, it's not a good or bad thing. It's just a fact. If they go to college, they go to the local one. They live with their parents until they're mid-20s or whatever. So I feel in that regard, there's a lot of things you miss out on. I'm not saying it in an insulting way. It's I had to learn how to cook and clean and do laundry at 19. Whereas a lot of people won't learn that until they become more independent from their current situation. It is what it is, right? But on the other hand, they save money. There's pros and cons, whatever. Back to the pathfinding thing, I never had to kind of really decide. It was almost always kind of laid out for me. Once I had that in my head, I was I'm gonna go be a doctor. The path's laid out. There's no thinking. It's put your head down, study, get good grades, and do it. So it's it's so different from what Matt and Donnie were talking about. Now, kind of that was my spiel, my other take. Bottom line, if you don't know that school's for you, think hard about it before you take that investment. College is becoming ridiculously expensive. My college, I was on scholarship, but my college was $60,000 a year. Do you know? Wow. Do you know what $60,000 a year can do for you if you put it in a business or an index fund or literally anything else?
Yeah, so much. It's really unfortunate they don't have classes that just teaches you what you want to do rather than doing all these other side classes so that colleges can make money off of them. To then just why don't you just learn that trade?
Well, here's the thing. There's a lot of jobs now that because I've been looking at the job market for the last 2 weeks. A lot of them don't require college anymore. They just require experience.
Game development, they do.
Well, a lot of it can be learned on the website Skillshare and YouTube and all that. You can learn more than you can learn in a college class on YouTube. I agree. Now. It's wild.
I definitely agree.
I think doctors
different. Doctors
exactly.
Completely
different. Yeah. You would hope your doctor isn't fresh out of high school and watching YouTube.
I got this. So how'd you learn this? Yeah, from Skillshare. Yeah. I'm shit.
So I just looked it up on YouTube, and it looks like you have.
I think as a society, we're starting to transition. We really are. I think it's Apple or Google or both that now it's college degree is not required. They just want to see what you're capable of. Because for some fields, it's starting to realize that experience is more than school. Again, it's heavily dependent on your field, right? Let's talk about business, a business degree, for example. Pros of going to college for a business degree, networking. You get to network and you have structure, right? You learn about these things that basic principles and whatever. But in reality, we know a lot of people that studied business and then went to do whatever, a 9 to 5 and whatnot. Every single one will say, most of this I didn't learn in college. I learned on the job. So that begs the question, what's the point of that 40 $50,000 piece of paper. If all you know is that you want to do, like, I want to be in finance or whatever. But
so
you
the
have
thing
to.
is networking. Networking is also big.
What you're saying too is that's like the military as well. Like a lot of people, it's called striking a job, so they just pick up a job because they were kind of. It's a weird process. So let's say they came into the military, didn't have a job for 2 years, so they're doing like random stuff, and then they strike a job where they come into a job. So they came into my job, and most of them are really good at what they know, like and what they do, just because everything's on the job training. Even though I went to school, and I can forget a lot of stuff sometimes. Like our range that we have to know for this job is so much, but I forget a lot of it, and they will be like, "Oh yeah, help me out." So a lot of the on-job training is so useful, and it's honestly better than me sitting in that class for however long it was, learning about how to do the job when I could just be out there learning how to do the job, like hands-on.
So
especially a lot of people are, a lot of people are hands-on learners where they in class they just get bored. I feel like that's what happened with me.
That's the problem with college.
Yeah, it's like I need to actually do it. Stop showing me how to do it. Let me do it. Which
another thing too is networking. Like networking is also big. If you don't network, like people like you either A, won't know the information to become successful, or two, you just like you're not gonna blow up as much as you think you can or are. Like streaming, you know what I mean? Like for example, there's tons of other people who stream, they don't have the right connections, but if you had the connection to like Shroud or something, or like Thames or whoever,
right,
you're not you'll blow up faster.
So that brings us to like summary point number 2. Summary point number 1 was that school is not for everybody. It's not what it used to be. That it's so weird because like some of our parents and parents' parents, school wasn't like you didn't have to go to college, and then there was just like our generation pretty much was like you got to go to college, you got to get this degree to become successful and get that house and kids or whatever. And now we're transitioning to like maybe you don't need to do that anymore with the era of social media influencing and things like Skillshare and whatever. So that was point number 1.
Thanks Steve Jobs.
Well, I think that was like kind of point number 1. Coming into point number 2 is that experience greater than theoretical learning through books. I think most people can agree on that. So now let's kind of transition with all of these things we've talked about, all these experiences. Where are you at right now, and how has that shaped the path you want to take or thinking about taking right now? Because I know both of you are almost in this like transitional point. So let's start with Matt.
So I know we've been pooping on school for a bit, but I'm actually about to make some changes. I can't really say because this is going on a public platform.
Okay.
But I'm making some changes, and then I'll be going to school full time. And
just give it away.
For computer science.
Okay. What's the ultimate goal?
Oh, become like I want to work on games. So I want to either become an indie developer or like work for a small studio or software engineer for like another company or like I don't know. I want to do things that's gonna make me passive income.
Okay.
And then
so you're hitting in like your 30s now. So
shut up.
Matt is 1 year older than us, but we always call him like 35.
But even so, even like you're 26 right now, or turning 26 next month. How do you feel doing this so much later? Is it benefiting you, or is it not benefiting?
So it's definitely a what's the word I'm looking for? Discouraging in terms of like I could have gotten it. Everyone's already graduating now. Everyone's getting their masters. It's like damn, I could have done this freaking months ago. By the time I graduate, I'll be 28. You know what I mean? Like with my bachelor's, if I just go back to back. But it's like I'm gonna be freaking 28, bro. You know what I mean? There's people that,
hey man,
it's better than never.
Exactly.
You gotta look at it like that.
Exactly. I think what your ultimate goal is that you've like realized, and you've realized this through doing all these other things. You've done the military. You've done the full-time, basically union-like job with benefits and salary, whatever. Is that like I want to pursue my passion, and then that will provide me my income, and that won't feel like work when it's something I love.
Yeah,
is what I hear you're getting.
Don't get me wrong, my job is great. It's just, it's not what I want.
It doesn't fulfill you.
No, it doesn't. You know, I would actually love to just make games and entertain people. And, you know, like, there's people that say that Dark Souls saved their lives and whatnot, even though Dark Souls, you're like, how the hell is that even possible? It's just like, no.
So
it's a great.
How is school going to get you to that goal? Do you have to go to school to get to that goal?
I don't, but I rather, so basically, you don't have to, but I rather do a degree and drown in what I'm going to be doing rather than working a 8-hour job, coming home. I'm tired. I don't want to do anything. I want to play games. I want to relax. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather drown in what I'm learning. And plus, like, on top of that, computer science is difficult and you're going to need help.
So you're doing it for, like, the structure and the commitment to yourself.
Yeah.
Because money's involved now, right?
I love how you're just taking the words out of my mouth. I'm taking the long route and you're...
Well, it's because I know how you are. And I'm trying to, like, summarize to get the clear message to, like, the people listening. I don't mean to cut you off, I promise.
No. But I like that you're doing it because, I take a long
time to think.
Time to think, yeah.
Okay.
I haven't eaten, so...
Yeah.
So another thing, too, is with what you're doing and with what all of us are doing is, like, we need a great support system as well. I know you talked to your parents, right, about, you know, going to school full time and seeing how this would happen and all that, and how they respond.
They're like, we're gonna support you. You know, before they weren't really going to. You know, but I think now with my sister, she's older now. She's going to college, like, you know, within the next like 3-4 years, and it's an eye opener for them to see, like, oh, you know, where we really dropped the ball with Matt in terms of, like, they wanted me go to work and school, and it's like, dude, like that's overwhelming. That's really overwhelming, especially when you work a 5-day job and you just, you know, get out of work, then you got to go straight to school, and then you got to have these papers and have homework. It's like, bro, at a certain point, you're just like, I don't want to do any of this stuff anymore.
It's generational.
That reminds me. I forgot to bring this up before. I worked at a Ford dealership while going to school. I worked 63 hours at Ford and went to school at the same time.
Yeah, that's overwhelming.
I totally forgot. So I understand what you're talking about. I totally forgot what I said earlier. I forgot to bring that up.
I think there's a big generational gap where back then school wasn't as intensive and wasn't, like, as full time commitment as it is now. And, like, we could get into this like another episode, but, like, back things have changed between the generation before us and our generation. Back then, you can work like any regular job and afford a house. You can buy a house at our age from your regular job, no college degree required. Now you try to get a full-time, like, career job, for the most part, minimum associates, most likely bachelors, right? And then on top of that, they want like 2 years experience. Well, how am I going to get this experience if I was just in college? Who's going to give it to me, right?
Well, you kind of, your old school had it too, and this school obviously does, but you get the on-the-job experience.
That's a unique case, right? And that's why I went to that school. So my alma mater, they had this, like, program where, as part of your, like, you have to do this to graduate. They put you for like 6 months, at least once, working, like, actually working in, like, your desired career. So for me, I was working in a hospital. Obviously, I wasn't, like, doing direct medical care, but I was, like, in that environment. And it's, like, real, like, hands-on experience. But that's not the case for most schools, right? You have to kind of do that on your own in the summer. You have to, like, figure it out, right? Which is, like, leading me to my point. It's like, you're almost set up to, like, fail, right? Where am I going to get this experience if I just put my heart, like, my blood, sweat, and tears into the books?
Yeah, and then you get stuck in that corporate loop.
Yeah.
And it's like, I might as well just work at this job because I'm getting paid. And that's what happened to me.
There is something that you just said that I want to, like, reflect on. You said that you don't have to go to school to get to this goal, but you're doing it for, like, the structure and the commitment. Right?
Right.
I've done something similarly and, like, way less important, right? So, like, I've talked about in previous episodes, like, I want to get fit. I want to get in the gym consistently. And, like, as Donnie said in the beginning, I have been. For me, what was that? It was the, like, I needed something that made me, like, committed. One of that is, like, following, like, some sort of workout routine and just, like, you know what you're going to go in there, you know what you're going to do. And two, for me, like, I just told you I was working 12-hour days and I've still been going. Like, I come home, I'm beat. But I need that thing that's, like, what am I going to do to make me go? For me, that was, like, it's silly. Taking pre-workout. Once I get home...
I do it all the time, man. I do it, especially on deployment. I'll just take my pre-workout and it's like, fuck, now I got to go.
That's it. Otherwise, you're going to sit there tingly doing nothing. Like, for me...
Another thing...
Go ahead.
I was going to say another thing, too. We talked about it. You know, it wasn't on podcast, but it was, if you tell yourself that you can't, you really will believe that you can't do it.
Yeah.
You know, your brain is that strong.
I've said this on one of our first... You really should listen to the New Year's episode if you haven't. that New Year's episode, we all dropped gold. But I said, to your point, Matt, I said, I firmly believe there's very few things that you can't do if you actually put 100% to it. Become a professional athlete and become like a professional like singer, right? Those require like natural born ability. Everything else, it's hard work and like some sort of luck. But you can make your own luck by putting yourself in these environments to get those networking and opportunities and whatever. Yeah. So, I was going to say, Matt, unless you had something to comment, I was going to say, Donnie, tell us where you're at now, like, based on your experiences, like, what are you looking for towards the future? Like, are you transitioning? Do you not know? And if you don't know, like, what are you considering? Like, what's going to help you make that decision?
So right now, I'm like torn right now. I know I'm getting out. I know there's, with all the benefits now that I'm going to have, there's a lot of paths I could take, and it's just like, which one will be best for me? Do I want to go to a trade school for this heavy machine? That my main thing I was looking at, heavy machinery operator. Do I really want to do that? Do I really want to be tearing up my body for more now, or do I want to have a desk job? Which I've never been for desk jobs. Like I can't do it. I feel like so it's mainly looking like a hands-on field. It's just like, all right, now I know what I want to do. How do I want to go about doing it? So like I see there's trade schools in Jersey where me and a couple other friends in this group are looking at moving to. So we got Jersey, and then I saw a place in Ohio, and then there's another place like in Mississippi. There's just places everywhere. Well, where I could go, I'll be able to afford it because I'll be getting money from the military to go to school. It's just how I want to go about it because I don't want to make the same mistake I did a couple years ago and just commit to something where I just don't know fully anything about. So that's a big thing, and which is good because I do have a support system at home between all 5 of my brothers and my aunt and uncle. Like my aunt and uncle said they'll take me in if they need to. Like they actually want me to move home. I'm like, no, I do not want to fucking move home. Like stop begging me. But all my brothers have connections which they can help me find a job if I need one or find a school if I need one. So I'm very lucky in that sense.
So go ahead, Matt.
I was going to say, my thing is, just to counteract, not wanting to move home. I personally would try because it's better off to pay somebody else's mortgage and maybe someone buy a house and then you just help pay off that guy's mortgage. That's just me. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That could be a whole nother episode. Which I think is a good idea. Yeah. We should table that.
Investment,
like renting versus buying, and like living with your parents while you're making money, or just kind of sending it and like getting your own place earlier on.
Personally, Donnie, let's say you had enough money to buy a house now and you just bought it. I would rather live with you, pay off your rent, rather than Joe Schmo, on freaking...
Which,
anyway.
See, all right, get into that since you want to talk about... Really quick. I did look at houses, and this housing market is absolutely insane.
It's insane right now.
Yes, it is.
So it's just like, do I really want to... I'd rather not move home because, we play video games at night. And
oh my God.
I want to yell at my video games when I get angry, and Matt seen me get pissed before. So that's one thing. It's just like I want to be closer to my area of work because where I want to work is in
New York, New Jersey area.
Manhattan to like not West New Jersey, but like the eastern part of New Jersey off the coast. Yeah. Because I could get a good job there, working on the ship on the harbor over there. And that's another thing I was thinking about. There's so much. I will update everybody in the future about what I will be doing, but I'm just looking at my options right now.
The beauty of us doing this is we can look back. Like, this is going to be out there. We're going to look back and be like, okay, this is what we were thinking. Are we just, like, talking nonsense, or did we actually go after it, right?
I didn't even think about that.
I'm proud to say, like, now I haven't even, like, self-reflected on this, but we talked about it in the New Year's episode that I would get on a consistent gym routine, and I have been for the last 3 months. So, like, I'm proud of myself for that. And, like, honestly, speaking it into existence on the podcast, I think is really beneficial. So, Donnie, kind of like we did with Matt, like, summarize for you, you're looking at different things, but, like, your different experiences working almost a desk job with, like, the Ford dealership. And then, like, the regular, like, school, you decided, I've noticed in the military, like maybe I kind of regret it, but I've learned that I like to work with my hands, which is kind of leading you towards a more hands-on skill learning kind of thing.
That's the main thing I want to do, but there's a my dream job is being a comedian and like writing things for TV shows and all that. Because I notice, even at work, I make a lot of people laugh, and I just love seeing people laugh because, you know, I'm fucking hilarious most of the time. Like I can't hold myself in from making jokes, even though a lot of the time probably shouldn't be making these jokes. But
we gotta write our freaking TV show, man.
Yeah,
literally, like before we did this podcast, I told Donnie, I was like, Donnie, I appreciate your sense of humor, but it can be taken out of context. So we need to ease the viewers in before we let Donnie loose.
Yeah. That'll probably be in like 3 years from now to let me loose.
It's an acquired taste, I will say.
It is.
So back to our main thing. So that was Donnie. For me, I kind of like touched on this before. I'm on this like Britain path. I'm gonna finish med school, hopefully get a good residency, become a pediatrician. My goal is to have my own practice or practices, because I really have like a creative entrepreneurial kind of like passion. I like to make things. I like to think big picture. I don't like to like leave myself inside the box, which like a lot of people will tell me like, you're becoming a doctor. Like, isn't that enough? For me, it's not. No. For me, it's not. It's a job. It brings me the most joy in like helping people, but I want like Matt, you both have known me for so long. Like, have I ever just wanted to focus on one thing?
I feel like everybody in this group, almost everybody, we want more of everything.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a selfish thing that you have to have.
Bro, it's like so cliche, but like you get one chance at life.
Yeah.
Why leave?
Might as well try.
Why leave stuff on the table? Why? What are you gonna lose?
My question for you.
What's up?
My question for you is: you want to start this practice and all that. Where do you want to move? That's my fucking question. Where do you want
a lot of people want to know. I want to know the answer to that question. My partner wants to know the answer to that question. My parents want to know the answer to that question. I don't know. And here's the thing: I can't decide now because the way this like stupid residency program thing works is that it's kind of like a match process. So I list a bunch of places, and then if they interview me, they like rank me, and like some algorithm matches you. So I could literally be across the country next year. I have no idea. I truly.
You gonna visit Norfolk again?
I will visit you before you leave if our friends stop being bums. Okay. So I think all in all, I think this is like a really good episode. I think we touched on like from different perspectives, like school versus not, experience versus like college, and then kind of like how to think about going forward if you have a plan, or if you don't have a plan, like what do you take into consideration? So I don't want this to be like too much of a ramble episode because we really touched on like a lot of good things. Let's each give like one brief like takeaway from this, and I want to start doing this every episode. Like take like one brief takeaway. I'll start with mine. My takeaway is that hearing from people who didn't do the whole like school thing like me is that they've benefited a lot in the sense of learning by experience, right? I haven't had a 9-to-5 corporate job. I haven't. What if that's actually like what I ultimately want in life, or I hate it? I don't know. Doing this path, like I didn't experience that. To know I hate it and to make me want to pursue other things more strongly. That's my takeaway. Matt, what's yours? Try to keep it like brief.
Yeah, not everyone's experience is gonna be the same, and like that's okay even if you're late on certain things. You know what I mean? I don't really. It's okay to be late. I know I said
this. I know I said we'll keep it brief. I forgot to say this before, and you were talking about it because I don't want to interrupt you, bro. I promise you, it's never too late. I promise you, it's never too late. Yeah. There's a guy in my class who already has a PhD. He has a PhD and a kid, and he started med school at the same time as me. Like he's much older, has a kid. Oh, he's already a doctor, a different kind of doctor. But like he's like, no, this is what I want to do. It's never too late, like to pursue what you want. Yeah, so many people in different fields like start quote unquote late. There is no late time. Late time is if you die and don't do what you wanted to do. That's my opinion.
Yep. That is true.
Donnie, what's your takeaway? Take us home.
So my takeaway is leave this at 1 minute. So basically do something that doesn't require me to be stressful when I go to work, because if you go to a retirement home, which I watch a lot of videos about, they ask these retirees what they wish they did different. Is spend more time with family, spend more time with friends, and work less. So I'm going to take that into my own life as much as I can without going broke. But basically, have a good support system is my big takeaway. Family, friends, co-workers that say that they'll help you out. That's my biggest takeaway from this.
That is true. Yeah, I like that too.
All right, boys. I think this was a great episode. If you stick around, we will play some of Matt's music. This is PG-13 plus, okay? So note, if children are listening, ask your parents before listening to this music.
Yeah, it's explicit. It should say explicit on the podcast, but
it should. I don't know. Whatever. It's been real,
right,
guys. This was great. Till next time, everybody. Here is Estes.
Shorty wanna dance with me. She see eat the money with me. Bag out, come drop it for free. Bag out, come put it on me. I just wanna fuck, not speed. Hair done, nails done, got it on fleek. So fly, don't pay no receipt. I'm a dog, got the pussy on leash. If I hit it once, I'ma keep. Ass up, face down to the beat. Ass this, he a bully in the sheets. Remix, put the pussy on the beat. She tryna come home with me. Tell her, bring your friends and me. Give me good head, she a geek, good girl. But with me, she a freak. Shorty wanna dance with me. She see eat the money with me. Bag out, come drop it for free. Bag out, come put it on me. I just wanna fuck, not speed. Hair done, nails done, got it on fleek. So fly, don't pay no receipt. I'm a dog, got the pussy on leash. Hop out the beamer on fire. The girl look good, mine flyer. Make her wet, after that I try her. Get in that, then I walk right by her. Diamonds on my bitch, we in the photo. She no amateur, so we go pro. She a star, make her go solo. We don't gotta rush it, we could go slow. Shorty wanna dance with me. She see eat the money with me. Bag out, come drop it for free. Bag out, come put it on me. I just wanna fuck, not speed. Hair done, nails done, got it on fleek. So fly, don't pay no receipt. I'm a dog, got the pussy on leash.